Hey everyone, Chris Mack coming at you today with the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Blackest Night Nekron Deluxe action figure. One to keep this in the vein of spooky season coming up, and this figure is well worth it. If you want to pick him up at the time of this recording, as I always say, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your action figures and comics and grab this figure. If not, at the time of this recording, he is available on both Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. As you can see how big this bad boy is, looks absolutely amazing. And his packaging, come around to the side window with Nekron's name there, come around to the back. I love this cover, Blackest Nights here, absolutely gorgeous piece. Come back around to the side, Nekron, Blackest Nights there. Nothing really on the top to speak of, same as the bottom. But with that said, is this deluxe figure awesome or not? Let's get this thing open and look at this hauntingly awesome figure. Nekron was created by Mike W. Barr, Lynn Wein, and Joe Staton. First appearing in Tales of the Green Lantern Corps, #2 from June 1981. The character is the embodiment of death, Lord of the Unliving, and one of the most powerful forces in the universe. Trapped in his own realm throughout most of eternity, Nekron first became aware of the world of the living through the deceased cosmic villain, Crona. A rift was opened in the continuum between dimensions, and Nekron looked upon the universe and saw all that was life itself and determined that he would become its master. In Blackest Night, Nekron uses Black Hand as his link to the living world and is able to create the Black Power Rings and was responsible for the resurrections of many deceased superheroes and super villains. Nekron is also the one who allowed the return of many superheroes from the dead and then transformed them into Black Lanterns, including Superman, Wonder Woman, Donna Troy, Kid Flash, Animal Man, Ice, Green Arrow, and Superboy. Nekron's goal was to kill the life entity, which would have killed all life in the universe. Interesting enough, though, it's Sinestro who thwarts Nekron, bonding with the entity and becoming the White Lantern. So there's a quick backstory on Sinestro. For accessories, he does come with the trading card, which is absolutely fantastic. I can't remember which issue of Blackest Night this is, but it's beautiful. I'll make sure to get the read-up on the back so you guys can check it out at your convenience. And of course, like all figures, comes with the basic stand, which you would think for the bigger figures that they would do something about that, but it is what it is. Now the scythe, on the other hand, ooh, Nelly, is this thing gorgeous. I love this thing. Boop, there he goes, of course. The handle's beautiful. Has that nice wood feel to it. I wish they would have maybe put some black wash on it to make it look grimier. But I love how the scythe is also his lantern. And if you want to display this, you do photography with it, you hit the light just right in there, man, and it looks like it's flashing. Gorgeous. The blade, that hook on it, looks great. Love this piece. Those are the only things that Nekron does come with. Now, as for the figure himself, overall, gorgeous piece. Very eerie looking. I love that zombie look. Like, if you didn't know who this character was, the first thing that comes to mind for me is, who's the mascot for Iron Maiden? Is it Eddie? But he looks like the Eddie monster, the zombie from Iron Maiden. That necklace around him, the chain, to make him harnessed to the other dimensions. Great. Love how they made sure that gray just kind of matches that black heart. And of course, ripped out at the chest. Absolutely beautiful there. Soft leather there. I wish, my own personal thing with this is I wish that McFarlane would have released this later when he got more head out of the butt and started doing the soft cloth, because this hard plastic, if you want to nail him or get him to walk in a certain way, just like with every character, that thing is a pain in the ass to move around. This would have been cool, too, to see this cloth like the, what's his name, Pinhead, that we went over last year. To see something like that would have been great. Of course, the bracers on his hand, beautifully well sculpted. All the nastiness on his skin and the wraps around his hands, that just zombie, dirty flesh brown, looks great, especially on the face. Black Lantern logo there on his head. Like I said, other than the soft plastic thing annoying me, at least it's beautifully well done. The one thing that's going to drive you nuts about Nekron overall is, yeah, the legs look good, but then you get down to the feet, and he suffers from the early McFarlane Toys things. Skinny feet. So when you really try to get him to stand up, it's a chore, as you can see. Just a chore all around. So I don't know if it's like a Tarantino fetish type thing with the skinny feet or whatever. But yeah, if they would have just widened these feet out, that would have really resolved a lot of these issues, especially since this whole thing here is top heavy. So like I said, other than it being beautifully sculpted all around, not being able to really pose him without a foot peg, or without a stand, should I say, it's a chore. You guys are going to have a lot of patience with him because of those skinny feet, but worth it nonetheless. I'll give it a pass in that regard. As for the articulation, not bad for an early McFarlane figure. Head goes down that much. Head goes up that much. Twisty. And because it's soft leather, you can do about a 360 up that way. Just about double jointed elbows. I'm glad that these bracers, or what do you call those, shackles, hide that ugly ball joint, so you can at least get the hands to do all sorts of movement. You can get them for a deluxe figure. You can at least get them to go down about that much. Again, this is why we need soft capes and whatnot, because this is frustrating to move around. You know, you try to get the legs to go out to the side like they're supposed to. Again, that cape is a hindrance, but you can see at least you can get out that far that way. Double jointed knees. And again, just like the Hasbro figures, the butt flap, because of this hard plastic, you can't get the leg to go all the way back. You're going to have to warm that up or something, because that is frustrating. It does have the thigh pivot there, thankfully. Foot go down, foot go up, pivots, and then the little toe tippy pivot as well. So other than the hard plastic capes that I'm glad are finally starting to F off, and the teeny tiny feet, it's still a great figure. And if you love the Blackest Knights and you kind of like the more horror-esque looking figures, it's one that I say, go pick it up, because it is awesome looking nonetheless. Now here's Nekron next to his Blackest Knights minions. We just went over the Kal-El Superman Earth 2, as well as the zombie Batman and the Firestorm that became Deathstorm. This one we will eventually be going over. This is the DC Direct's Blackest Knight Martian Manhunter from a couple of years ago. And even though he's an older figure and the articulation's left for, wanting, nonetheless, you put them all up together like this, and they are absolutely gorgeous, exquisitely sculpted. And I love that, even though just as I said about the articulation, he just blends in seamlessly with this set. So if you're wanting yourself a Black Lantern display, these figures are definitely going to be up your alley. I would be very happy if I saw some more Blackest Night figures from Todd. Fingers crossed. If not, if you guys picked up the Atrocitus wave that we just recently went over, you can at least check out these Blackest Nights ones from DC Direct. I think it was around 2006-ish, somewhere, I don't remember, 2003 maybe. But I just love the scaling. Look how tall this Mamma Jamma is compared to the rest of these lanterns, to show who is leading this army of death. Did you enjoy the Blackest Nights? Was it a fun read? I went over it last Halloween, so I'll make sure to leave a playlist up here so you guys can check it out after this review. What do y'all plan on doing with your Blackest Night figures? Are you going to display them? Are you going to photograph them? We'd love to see pictures and all that good stuff over on our social media pages. I love this figure. It is very well sculpted, beautifully made. I just wish that when this was released back in the day, Todd had kind of come around and started doing the cloth capes then, because these hard plastic capes are such a burden. Trying to get this dude to kneel like this was a chore, just because this kept wanting to pop up and making him fall. I hate those hard capes, and I'm glad that he's finally starting to learn his lesson. I wish Hasbro would start doing that with their Marvel Legends, because it really limits when you're trying to pose your character. Because when you finally get them in that dynamic range, they look the way they're supposed to. They're supposed to be creepy or action figure wise. And as you can see, gorgeous, gorgeous figure. The paint app's beautiful. I do want to know why they thought that for a deluxe figure, kind of giving them loose joints in the hand with this heavy scythe was a good idea. I don't know what they were smoking. I don't want to know. But I will let those pass, because Nekron is one of those creepy DC villains, and whenever he's in a book, it is very much welcome. Have you enjoyed what you've seen with this figure? If you have, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your action figures and comic books, and grab this if you're a Green Lantern Blackest Night fan. Or as I always say, please first and foremost support your local comic shop and grab this thing. If not, you can check out the places we talked about at the beginning of the review. Speaking of, if you did enjoy this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy Black Lantern bell, next subscribe. That way as I get to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below, or the socials, which I'll make sure there are links down in the description. So with all that said, hope y'all continue to have a spooky day reading, and happy hunting, everyone. Photo slideshow coming up next.